It's over 50 years. But recently I discovered Herbie. He's a social worker, both he and Jane living in Great Neck of all places. Dr. Herbie Bar-David, I wanted him to sit at my table so my children could meet him. He's been puzzled all week as to why I called. Nobody gets to first base alone. I've now run in 23 consecutive winning world-class elections, and I won them. Never ran by myself in my life. I ran because of each and every one of you, and with the help that you gave me and the support that you give people. Somebody owes somebody something. That's what the world is all about. Nobody accomplishes anything. Nobody is on top because they were born on first base or second base or third base. It's because of the people that help us, the people that work with us, the people who believe in each other, supporting each other. I went on from there. My dad came home after a long night driving the taxi and told me about this woman he had in the cab. She told him that her cousin went to Brooklyn College, and if you go to a city college, you can go to college for free. My father came home and told me this story. That was a clue that you can go to college and not have to pay. That was my father's way of confessing he didn't have a nickel to send me to college. But somebody sent me to college, and they sent me to Queens College, and they sent me for free. Somebody owes somebody something. And at Queens College, my dream came true. I met the love of my life. Best girl anybody could ever meet and know. She became my wife 45 years ago. Mother of Lauren and Corey and Ari. Mother-in-law to Paul and Lena. And the grandmother of our grandchildren, two of whom are here today, Max and Miles. She's the managing partner of our family, my inspiration, my harshest critic, my greatest advisor, my moral compass, and the person who sacrificed more than anybody I know for these past 30 years. Thank you, Rita. You know, things have gone terribly wrong in Washington. The climate has changed. The strategy has changed. There are people who think it's a blood sport and not a practice in democracy to make the world a better place. There are people who cheer for national failure just to be able to blame the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. People who want to delegitimize the president from the moment he was elected. People who look in the mirror and don't see what they'd like to see in the White House. People who look in the mirror and say, I want my country back, and I say, from what? You lost an election. You didn't lose your country. Democracy is the winner in every election. Live with it. And they go on and on in a very destructive mood. They turn one citizen against another. They change one religion against another. They invoke the name of the deity into the process, and if you don't believe exactly what they believe and want to say it the way they want it said, then you are a heretic, that you will burn in hell for eternity because you don't believe the things that they believe. And that is not the way to have a national dialogue. That is not the way to settle our problems. That is not a way to resolve our differences. That is not a way to compromise and make progress. This is a great country. And we're unworthy of that kind of behavior. They set up straw men just to try to knock them down. They claim that there's a war against religion and religious people just so that they could defend whatever it is they want to defend. They claim that it is the rest of us who believe in the separation of church and state, as devout as we might be, and that we are the enemy, which is not the case. And I would challenge them when they accuse us of not making room in the public square for religious people or religion. That is not true. I would invite them to come to the public square, but bring their piety and not their hypocrisy. I would invite them to bring in the great ideas that are in the Bible, but don't bring the Bible to be a blunt instrument to beat the rest of us over the head in order to prove whatever it is they're trying to prove. Come to the public square. Bring your religious notions, bring your ideas, bring the great thoughts, bring your Bible. But bookmark the place where it says that you're your brother's keeper. Bring the notion of doing unto others as you would have others do unto you. Indeed, bring your commandments. Bring every single one of them. Bring thou shalt not kill. Bring the part where it says that nations shall beat their swords into plowshares. And bring that when we talk about the budget and decide where to put our dollars, and don't put it into swords, but put it into resources for people. Read out the parts where you're commanded to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to shelter the homeless, and to understand that these parts cost money, taxpayer money. And when somebody tells you that we have to put aside money to take care of our old people, that's how you honor your mother and father. When you read the parts from the good books that tell you to take care of the sick, that's health care. When you read out the parts that tell you that when you do this for the least of your brothers, you do that in the name of your Lord. Don't accuse him for saying that of being a socialist or redistributing the wealth. Don't accuse him of class warfare. That is your responsibility in your good book. Don't be confused and think that you put your hand on the Constitution and swore to uphold the Bible when you come with notions that defy it. Know what your responsibilities are to your fellow men and women. Somebody owes somebody something. I owe so much. More than I can ever repay. From a kid who was born in the projects, I was able to get to first base with a little bit of help. For a kid who, until we went on his honeymoon to Florida, never left the projects to go further than the Catskills. Wound up traveling the furthest parts of the world, wound up talking democracy to dictators, having the opportunity to talk to horrible people running major countries, to be able to say to fascists and talk at the foot of the pharaohs in the land of Egypt and actually say the words, "Let my people go," to be able to talk both to cabbages and kings. It's like Alice in Wonderland falling through the looking glass. My God, I'm in a whole different world only because people gave me a chance and gave me an opportunity to pay something back that I have received. It may look glamorous, but it's just been an ordinary person who had an ordinary time in an extraordinary country with people who care, who can still care, who know that they should care, who have the resources to care. My favorite Scottish poet said, "What a gift the gifted gie us to see ourselves as others see us." We never know how others see us. And sometimes others have no idea of how we see ourselves. So in winding down these remarkable years that you've afforded me the opportunity to pay it back in some small way, I don't know what you see, but I look through the fog, and the only thing I see is a grateful kid rounding third, slowly, slowly coming home. Thank you.